Alright, I'm gonna put out another message today. I don't know, I still feel kind of weird about this one this morning. It's just like, I know two things in life. One, you can't tell anybody else what to do with their own kids. And two, I want to say what the fuck I want to say anyway, I guess. But I think it's really important for kids to work shit out amongst kids. Like, that's like, a lot of people say, like, they think I'm so judgmental when it comes to boxing people into age groups, right? And like how I think people should relate to each other within their own age group. And yeah, it's important to get the message across generations, or else nothing will ever change. But I think a lot of the problems kids have today is that they have been helicoptered their entire lives. They've never been allowed to have a disagreement, an argument, or play without having direct involvement over them all the time. And it's been, I grew up in the generation where you just went to the park and you played, right? Like, your parents didn't go with you. Like, my mom was able to keep the house clean because we weren't allowed in it until after dinner time, So, and we just went to the park and played, and there was bullies at the park, and there was, it was what it was. Like, the bully bullied kids until somebody came along and popped the bully in the face, and that's when the bully learned that bullying will get you punched in the face if you take it too far, so they learned how to control that aggressive behavior. Other kids learned how to stand up for themselves, right? The same thing goes across the board. When you hit into puberty, when you hit into adolescence, when you hit into these things, it's like, it's not... Because these kids were so helicoptered, they do not know how to think for themselves. Their brains have been reduced to the size of fruit flies, right? Because of TikTok and everything else like that. And they're watching grown people all the time. And it's not healthy, right? They need to be allowed to be kids, to figure shit out by themselves. Like, I talked a little bit about what high school was like for me. High school for me was very much... As cheesy as it sounds, it was Disney Channel. It was Dawson's Creek. It was a little bit of Gilmore Girls, right? And then it was upper middle class in Long Island. In Virginia Beach, it was a little bit more, diversified. But it was just that dramatic. And even, like, it was a thing that we did was peer mediation back in those days, right? It was where a counselor taught a group of kids how to be a peer mediator. So when kids had problems with other kids, they found it was easier for other kids to help people navigate these problems versus an adult who doesn't actually know the peers, right? Because the kids have a vastly different perspective on each other than we do, right? Because you always got that kid who has parents who thinks that they're made of gold and there's nothing wrong with them, right? And then you've got, the parents that are neglectful. You have all these different variations from the kids know each other. The kids know which kids are the bullies. The kids know. When they walk in the cafeteria, they're like, that's that table, and that's that table, and that's that table, and that's that table. That's what the kids know, right? And the adults are not privy to a lot of that information. So it's just easier for kids to navigate what they need to do themselves without us adults throwing trends and shit at them. I don't like trend society, right? I don't like it when something's portrayed too much as cool, and especially with social media right now, it's all about likes, right? So the more you lean into a trend, like even like the kids with the TikToks and shit, it's like, play this song, and you'll go from 200 likes to 1,000 likes, like you'll get more views if you use this trendy phrase, if you use this trendy word, if you use this fucking clip, if you use this. They're telling them what to use. They're programming them. And if you don't believe me, you can look into how TikTok works. Their algorithm works in different countries. In other countries, the algorithm rewards creativity, ingenuity, hard work, things like that, overcoming obstacles, all that other shit. In America, in Western society, it's all dances and all that other controversial shit, right? So I'm going to leave that at that for whoever needed that message to go with the one from earlier today, right? It's like, I honestly think kids need to work shit out for themselves, with themselves, right? I'm not saying let kids go crazy. I'm just saying kids know the world better. It's a saying that I heard, it's like, you can't Our parents tried to raise us to live in their world, and their world doesn't exist anymore. So stop trying to raise your kids to survive in our world, because by the time they're adults, our world's not going to exist anymore. Think about it. In the 90s, we were obsessed with global community and da-da-da-da-da, and we created the World Wide Web and like all this crazy shit we got now, right? And we've created an entirely new world. We need to stop trying to raise our kids to grow up in our world. They're going to grow up in their own world. The only thing I'm disappointed in is I just can't believe, like, from what my experience was in the 90s, how the hell we ended up here. And the best I could figure out, it had to have been 9/11, honestly. Know what was going on there. Here we go. We got Gemini energy, that twins energy. We got Mercury, the messenger energy here. And we got 10, right? That completion of cycles. Skip the story time this time. Let's get into what the shadow aspect. Oh, let's get some rings on this. Or not a single one. Crossroads just fell into my lap though. Like, fine, you want one? Here. Fated to suffer. Fated to suffer. Always love that card. Fairy Earth magic. Believing in magic, believing in fairy tales, right? Hope, renewal, right? That brighter and more positive future, right? Who destroyed themselves? The person who was trying to destroy Snow White is who destroyed themselves. The villain in the story always destroys themselves, right? I get this older energy is trying to poison a younger energy here, right? Someone, I get a strong urge that someone probably has a lot of a magical touch to them, right? And it might come to them in a different way of manifestation, right? They might be really into the earth magic. This might be someone who's very connected to things like the Fae. That's such a weird question. I was just thinking about, I wonder who the Fae actually is, right? Because we always talk about how it's like all these added in from other realms and whatnot. But we'll get into that on another day. But I definitely get someone who definitely connects with the fairies, with the fae, with the Celtic energies, things of that nature, right? And then we've got this story of Snow White. Someone definitely has a very powerful way of being able to manifest, and someone wants to poison this person against their own magic, right? And it's unfortunate, it's part of the tale. Like, this villain doesn't realize it, but they've signed this soul contract, and their only purpose to move this person along with their path. So the villain poisons Snow White. Snow White ends up in the coffin. In the Lenore deck, the coffin is all about what I call this, right? The person who's sitting behind the screen waiting in a glass coffin where they can be seen, but nobody can reach them, right? Until the prince is able to find them, right? And what happens to the villain? Well, before she even poisons Snow White, in just the process of planning on poisoning Snow White, she ages herself horribly. She doesn't take care of herself. She ages terribly, right? In order to deceive Snow White, but she's ruining herself. Like, the whole point is she's ruining herself in order to try and come at her, so that she, look how weak I am now, look how frail I am now, and she offers this poisonous advice, right? That's the metaphor of the poison apple, this poisonous advice, right? That chokes Snow White, makes her unable to speak anymore, and kind of locks her into that glass coffin until she's found again. Seems very detailed channeling tonight. Get the energy definitely saying just be mindful of the aging narcissist and their collapse. Irrelevant is the song, and it's Pink. And I was like, I was almost went to go do a reading. Is the kids alright, right? Or the kids are alright. But I thought of that Offspring song, and I'm like, it really not. It's like all these kids grew up to be horrible and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny because when I think about like high school and stuff in the 90s for me and my friends, like my mom swore that one of my friends was gay. Like, swore he was gay. Like, he wore eyeliner. He was very feminine. I knew for sure that he wasn't gay. Like, but, my mom thought he was. And he's married with kids and shit now. It's like, you're gonna be who you're gonna be. Like, it's like, stop worrying about figuring it out right this second. Like, yeah, once during Spin the Bottle, he kissed another guy, but you know what? He was a bit of a player there for a little bit. Sagittarius. It's doing alright. It's one of the things I like about Facebook, at least for me, because I was a military brat, so we always kept in touch by using the mail, right? Like, you had to get addresses. Like, that was a big thing, was to make sure that you gave your address out before you left so that your friends could write you, or to get everybody's address before you left and hope that you could keep in contact while everybody moves around. Like, my best friend from the 2nd grade, I'm like, that was work. That was work. Like, if I want to write her a letter, to this day, I have to send it to her father in Vermont, and then he sends it to wherever she's at for me. You know. It's nice to be able to go on, like, I go on my regular personal page, and, like, that's all it is. It's just me and my friends sharing pictures of kids all the time. You know. And that's what it used to be. Like, when you talk about manifesting positive energy, you know, when you talk about, like, the greatest generation, the greatest time, and what people practiced then, when you went out about town and you went to walk into the grocery store, or back in those days, like, after dinner was a big time to go walking around the old neighborhoods, you didn't, when you bumped into somebody, it was always, hey, what's the good news? Oh, what's going on? It wasn't, you didn't engage in negative gossip. It was, you were always wanted something to brag about. Like, that was where the pressure of being the golden child came in. It's like, how dare you don't go to college like everybody else's kids? How about you, how you're not giving me anything to brag to people about, to a toxic place. But the point was, everybody was talking about how, like, oh, we just did this, or we just did that, or we just planted a garden, we just da-da-da-da, and you talked about positive light things, right? And it wasn't, you didn't spend all day dwelling and talking about negative things and, like, casting all these negative assumptions on other people. It's just a very different world, right? Sorry, I'm off rambling again. I got the 2 of Wands here, right? There's definitely some balance coming into here. I've got a Joker energy here, so we definitely got this game player energy. But I've got this King of Wands with the Medusa, right? Somebody was kind of put in their tracks, I feel, like by somebody very intimidating. Right? Medusa is a very intimidating character, and she's got a very sad story in mythology. I think they just put a statue up in New York, and it's of her holding Perseus's head, and they're doing it as a, I know it sounds like, I know people are probably taking it way too far, but it's the energy of she was a victim, right? You know what I'm saying? She was so beautiful that she was favored among a god who ended up taking advantage of her in, you know, horrific ways. And then his wife got mad at her because of what he did to her, so she punished her with the serpent's of head, the serpent snake head, right? And made her very intimidating. And it's just the energy, it's definitely the energy of someone who's been hurt, and they don't tolerate any bullshit. That's the Medusa energy. They were hurt, and now they don't tolerate any sort of bullshit anymore. There's definitely been some sort of decision made, right? Somebody who's made a promise to themselves, and I get the energy of promise to themselves of never letting something happen again, right? I get the energy of a good team here, though. I want to get a couple more cards on that. Clarify this 3 of Wands for me. Five of Cups, Four of Cups here. Some past energies here. The Jack of Hearts, the Nine of Hearts. Someone could have somebody that they work with from their past. Somebody's got a team. It's definitely got this Five of Cups energies where there's definitely a couple of people from their past. They might have, they might be overly dependent on this person or overly still attached to this person. There's definitely the energy of wanting to help this person. This person might have been this person's wish fulfillment at one point. They want everybody to work as a team. They want everybody to be able to work as a team. I get that they want everybody to be able to work as a team. I get the energy that it's not possible, though. Alright, I'm not gonna... Six of Cups. Someone's got to release some sort of past energy here on the 3D, right? This King of Cups, it's like you know, your heart's in the right place with whatever you're thinking, and with the energies that I was picking up earlier today, it's the kind of energy of, and I deal with this in my personal life too. I do not get along with my kid's father at all, and I fell for that over and over and over again, right? That whole bullshit fucking future casting that he would pull, where he'd be like, I want to be like those families on, you know, social media, right, where it's like stepmom, stepdad, or stepmom, you know, dad, and then dad and stepmom, and the kid in the middle, and they all have the same numbers, and it's like, yeah, everybody would love that, but you can't have that when one person's a fucking psychopath, right? Where someone's only going to play nice as long as you do exactly what they say, when they say to do it, how they say to do it, blah, 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 blah. You have to forgive them all the time, but God forbid you mess up. You can't, it's not, you know, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You can't always have that, right? And there's an energy of that, yeah, that's that poison, right? That's that poison being offered in. What? It's not real. It's future casting. Someone's learning, I get how to juggle and manifest here, right? How to juggle and manifest and move forward. Someone's working on a skill, right? I got the Queen of Swords here, Queen of Pentacles here, Judgment and Justice. There's definitely a Divine Feminine who's very strong-minded right now. This person is like, what now? I'm too busy working on whatever she's been working on here and moving in this direction. There's definitely some, like, watching from a distance energy, right? I got this one too. She's very excluded off to the side there. I get grounding energy, right? Casting solid judgments on situations, right? And being like, no, I have to move with the most heart intention here. Four of Cups. I got the Four of Cups for her too. So it's like the Divine Feminine in this situation, even with these thoughts, she's holding on to a Three of Cups there too. So there's this energy of like, yeah, she might be so focused on herself too that she could be kind of overindulging in her own energy. If that makes any sense. Five of Swords on the bottom here. There's a lot of conflict going on. We have a Hermit here, someone who's definitely reaping what they sow, having to carry a lot of burdens, work through a lot. Five of Cups here, right? You get that Two of Cups soul connection, but those Three of Cups right there that still need to be cleaned up. This person's heading towards a victory, but the victory is going to be coming from having to learn how to carry their burdens more on their own. It's an energy here of making sure that, like, you know, it's okay to be generous. You don't have to leave people completely out in the cold. If that's not what you truly feel best in your, you know, in your heart, if you're going to have a heavy heart by leaving somebody totally high and dry, it's okay if you help somebody a little bit, but it's like, always keep some back for yourself. Don't give towards detriment. There's an energy of something getting ready to come in so that you can make these movements that you want to, but there's for sure the meaning of be mindful of those who want to sabotage you just to sabotage you. They got the hangman here is learning how they've imprisoned themselves. 88 here that they have to work towards. Work towards getting themselves out of this situation. The world has been really heavy on them, right? It's a time of letting go of the delusions. Queen of Swords is watching. Come here. Strength comes from standing your moral grounds here for sure. There's a union that does want to happen, and this union does bring the Ten of Pentacles, but somebody is afraid of, someone's afraid of success. What? That's what they're really afraid of. They're afraid of success. They're like, what if it is everything that I thought it was and we become whatever famous and then I end up in ruin again? This is a hard decision. I feel like it's a blind decision that they have to make, right? And they're like, they want to bridge this distance. King of Staffs, Temperance. They're trying to find some balance. Someone's definitely finding some balance over some overindulging here. What? You have to learn how to release the past and let that tower fall for this Two of Cups. There's that twin energy there. Someone working on bringing an offer, but they need to hurry up a little bit. They're moving very slow. They're moving slow because they're still overindulging in the past, right? Some sort of tradition they don't want to break, but the universe is calling on them. So recognition of what your soul contracts are meant to do, and accepting when you realize you've paid your karmic debts, and taking a leap in the directions that are best for you in life. If you really want to get this, justice and judgment is coming for somebody. Justice and judgment is coming for somebody. The Knight of Swords needs to fight for what they believe in. This is really hard for them. It's going to tower everything that they know. It's going to reveal a lot of secrets for them. There's going to be some sort of message about money for a High Priestess here. Yeah, it's going to be coming in quick. Somebody wants to come in, and it's going to be something worth celebrating. It's going to be a rebirth of an energy. Someone is definitely closing out one chapter and getting ready to open up another. Something they're very passionate about that's going to be coming way out into the open. This person's been working on this for a very long time. They're moving on from the past. Once again, this is very, very pressured for them. I got a King of Cups here. He's very focused on an Empress. He wants to treat her like the Queen of Coins. He's looking away from third-party situations now. King of Swords is very focused with the Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups energy here. Ten of Cups are nothing. Ten of Cups are bust. Queen of Cups, person's moving towards them. Ace of Staffs. This person wants it bad. This person wants it bad. Page of Cups. Oh, man, I get some love letters here. Oh, some love letters, but there's going to be definitely some honest communication. There's going to be coming out about some lies here. This person has more of a foundation than you may have realized in the past. What they're going to come out about is they're trying to bring some balance on this. They've been very defensive. They understand that their hyper-defensiveness has been their downfall. This is going to be this honesty. This is what they're bringing towards you. They're coming, this is hard for them. They're going to be bringing a lot of honesty about some of the things that they've either done in the past, things that they've hidden in the past, the way they've operated in the past, right? Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, Star, 4 Swords. There's a sword of truth, right? They know that the only way to gain their wish fulfillment is to bring this truth, Ace of Swords, to the Queen of Staves. Yeah, they need to bring this truth to the person that they desire most. Oh, Magician on the end there, in order to manifest this, right? There's going to be conflict, right? The only way to get out from coming out of the cold is to face this conflict. To face this conflict, right? There's an opportunity here to build a whole new life. There is an opportunity to build a whole new life here, to start the foundations of a new home life, or a new foundation of a new even business or something like that, or collaboration or something along those lines. But whatever it is, it's going to cause conflict. Coming out of the cold is going to cause conflict. Why? Because somebody wants you in the cold. Somebody wants you locked in a glass coffin. There's all there is to it. Doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine. That's just the whole point of the story, right? You're being divinely guided. There's a lot of nature. Get out there and look around nature. I always suggest you can leave out milk, honey, crackers, cakes and stuff like that for the Fae. They love gold little trinkets, anything shiny. It doesn't have to be real. The fairy... This is messed up. The Fae is a lot like Hoggle, right? That whole story is about Faes, right? They like sparkly things. They like shiny things. They like glittery things. I like you can go out and put that kind of stuff in holes in trees. It's always a good spot to put them for them. Alright, they also like wind chimes and bells. That also helps. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I love y'all. I'm back as soon as I can, I promise.